Our last speaker today is Laini Abraham. Laini is a resident of Easton, and she recently started a new health and wellness business as a Shakely distributor. And she's also a photographer. So Laini, please come up and tell us your story.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here today to tell you my story. One of my health challenges is anxiety, so I've actually prepared something to read so as not to subject myself to any unnecessary anxiety this morning. So my recent story began in October when I was notified by my health insurance provider that my plan was to be canceled as of the first of the year. I wasn't surprised, but I also was not excited to go shopping for new insurance, partly because of my history with obtaining health insurance, and also because of the awful stories I'd been hearing in the news about the healthcare.gov site. So I did the only thing that seemed practical, and I decided to put off dealing with it as long as possible. By mid-December, I realized I couldn't put it off any longer, so I set aside some time, prepared for frustration, and went to the healthcare.gov site. What happened next was a big surprise. I had no problem getting on the site. I found it easy to navigate. I could get quotes and look for the details of the plans, including participating providers, before actually registering on the site. And it was not at all the experience that I was expecting. After selecting a plan that seemed too good to be true, I decided to just go ahead and register and apply. And then, within the hour, the most amazing thing happened. I'd actually successfully applied for new health insurance. It totally worked. And I didn't even have any anxiety about it. Well, my experience applying was definitely a positive one. The real benefit that I saw was the difference in coverage that I would be getting and the reduction in my monthly premium. My old plan had a $2,500 deductible. The new plan is $1,000. My monthly premium now is about a quarter of what I was paying before. But the best part, the new plan actually covers behavioral health services. Something that as a self-employed person needing an individual plan, I had to pay dearly for before. Now, not only would behavioral health doctor's visits be included in coverage, but therapists, even out-of-network ones, would also be eligible for some coverage. Also, I didn't have the anxiety before applying that I was accustomed to having ever since the time I was rejected for having a pre-existing behavioral health condition. That experience left me feeling completely discriminated against as someone who had mental health care needs and someone who chose to proactively take care of them. It was always hard enough to cope with some of my challenges. I mean, there's still a very real stigma attached to them, a belief that mental health care is something that only really crazy people need. When I was rejected by that health insurance company, it felt like part of society was affirming, yes, there is something very wrong with you. You are defective, and we're not going to deal with you. And it was a really terrible feeling. But no more. I no longer have to worry about being denied for any condition or charged outrageously to have fair coverage. This to me is really huge. I've waited a long time for this, and I'm so thankful that this day is finally here. Even though I've had my struggles with depression, anxiety, and other issues, I feel very lucky. Throughout my life, I've had a very strong support system. It's only because of this support system that I was able to afford and receive the type of care I have, and to be able to function to the level I do. Many, many others have not been so lucky. Over the years, I've witnessed countless friends, family members, and fellow small business owners with behavioral health issues who did not have access to treatment because they didn't have insurance or coverage that included behavioral health care. These people are living lives that include everything from walking through life, not really enjoying it because they're depressed, or doing things to ease their pain like self-medicating with drugs and or alcohol because this is the only type of relief they can get. Their quality of life is far less than it would be if they had simply been able to access affordable care. But now they too will have access to care that they never had before. As humans, we are not just physical beings. We have mental and emotional aspects to our bodies as well. The Affordable Care Act, to me, is a huge first step in acknowledging that we all deserve to be able to take care of these other aspects that have a great impact on our overall health and well-being. It's an end to the discrimination that has been common practice in the insurance industry against people with behavioral health care needs, people like me. I am so thankful to see this finally change, not only because of the impact it has on my life personally, but because of all the other people it will help and the way it will contribute to reducing the stigma against people with mental health care needs. By reducing the stigma and improving access to care, I believe this could have a really enormous positive impact on our society as a whole. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for listening.